Hi, I'm Mike, and this is Our Wyoming Life. As a kid, I remember driving by fields of hay bales and yelling at the top of my lungs, "Hey!" Maybe you did this too. My parents would naturally freak out a little, searching for the bus that was about ready to hit us or the sharks falling from the sky, and then I would point at the hay bales and say, "Hey." Needless to say, my parents weren't really amused. But it is my first memory of the bundles of prairie grass made solely for the purpose of keeping animals alive during the harsh winters. Never in my wildest dreams would I think that years down the road, I'd be spending weeks of 10-hour days making those bales, cutting the grass, raking the grass, then baling it so a herd of cows and a few horses who depend on me for sustenance would have something to eat all winter long. It's my job now, and I love it. Well, I kind of love it. It's a love-hate thing we got going on. Haying is the process of cutting hay, or cutting grass actually, and baling it for animals to eat during the winter. We feed upwards of 5 tons of hay per day, and making sure that we have the hay to feed starts now, in June. Up until now, we've been watching the fields, praying for rain and warding off hail to make sure that we have something to harvest. And now the time has come. And honestly, it's not great. Prairie grass here in Wyoming is a fickle thing. A lot of factors play into whether or not we have hay to harvest. The difference between great hay and no hay, well, that can be a couple inches of rain or a cold snap that hits us in May that stunts the growth. Grasshoppers can also do a number on the hay crop, and even the wind can play a factor, which we have plenty of. This year, hay was hindered by a lack of rain in May and cool temperatures that kept it from growing to its full potential. But there is some, and we need it. We're still going to end up buying hay this year, but every bale that we can harvest saves the ranch a little over $100, so it's definitely worth it.
Haying starts with getting the equipment out of storage and up and running, greasing, tightening bolts, and replacing anything that may need replaced after sitting all winter long. Haying is actually pretty time sensitive, so it needs to be done before the grass gets too dry and too brittle to cut, so we get right to it. Making hay isn't hard. It's a straightforward process which begins with cutting the grass with a swather, which has a 14-foot cutting head, 84 razor-sharp blades, and a whole lot of horsepower to push the blades through the grass, cutting it and laying it out in neat little rows. Unfortunately, we have rocks, which like to break the blades, and when that happens, you stop cutting and fix the blade, climbing under and into the cutting head to do so. It's not fun, it's dusty and hot, and the sharp blades love to take bites out of your fingers, but once it's done, you're back and running. After hours of driving in circles, cutting grass at the mind-blowing speed of 6 miles per hour, you have a field with grass laid down in nice little piles called windrows. The next step involves rolling these windrows together. It's not really a necessary step, but when you roll them together it takes less time to bale, and that's important for a number of reasons which we'll get to in just a little bit. Windrows are combined using a rake, in this case a 30-foot wide V-rake, which is pulled behind a tractor. Combining 2 or even 3 windrows into one. When you have thicker hay, unlike this year, you don't need to roll as many windrows together. But with this thinner, sparser hay, the more the merrier, and we even roll 3 or 4 windrows together. Then comes the baler. The baler uses pickup teeth to grab the grass off the ground, and the bigger the windrow, the easier it is to do this for the baler. Once it picks it up, teeth move the hay in between belts that begin to roll the bale, adding more grass until the baler is full. You want to make bales as fast as possible, and that's another reason we put the windrows together. The more the hay rolls around in the baler, the more it turns to dust, and the longer it takes to make a bale. Inside the tractor, we have a baling monitor that tells us how to control the grass that's going into the baler. The 2 bars represent each side of the bale, and the object of this video game is to keep the 2 bars as even as you can as you approach a full bale, which is 60 inches. You can actually change the size of your bale, but 60 inches works for me. So as we approach that 60-inch mark, we weave the tractor back and forth, controlling which side of the baler fills up more, and evening the size of the bale until the monitor beeps, telling us that it's full. We stop, and out comes a nice round bale. Then we head out and do it again. Like I said, there are rocks out here which play all kind of havoc on haying equipment. Trust me, we've picked rocks until we're blue in the face, but in the end, they keep growing out of the field. So we just try to coexist with them peacefully. However, if there were a market for these stupid little chunks of stone, I'd quit ranching and go into the annoying little rock business. But there isn't. The baler is notorious for picking up rocks. You can try to dodge them, but eventually the baler is going to yell at you and tell you slip, which means something's stuck in there. The only option is to crawl up in the baler and try to dig out whatever you can, usually a rock. Haying can be dangerous, and safety is important. The machine is shut down, put into park, and sometimes even the tires are blocked up so nothing can roll before anyone can actually try to clear the blockage. Then you squeeze yourself inside, clearing out the hay and searching for anything that's stopping the internal mechanism from working. Usually a rock. And there it is, jammed firmly into the teeth that move the grass into the bale. Once you find it, you can usually get it out pretty easily, and you're back to making bales. But sometimes the worst happens, and a rock gets stuck in just the right position. And this happens. A tooth bent completely over. A bigger problem, and needing some repair. So it's back to the shop where we bang and cut and grind until that tooth can be removed. Even though it's not a total fix, the tooth is now gone, and it won't be as efficient at moving hay into the bale, we are back up and running again. But then Mitch calls. Something's wrong with the swather. A bolt is sheared off, and a bracket for the mechanism that actually moves the cutting blades has broken in 2. This is a bigger problem, and the swather is down until replacement parts can be ordered and installed, which involves taking the whole sway arm assembly off the swather. The swather is dead in the water, or actually the field. No more cutting, and no more hay. Well, crap. Is this the end of haying season? Will the swather be fixed before the hay is too dry to cut? Will the rock army win and drive me insane? Find out next week. Hold on. We do prepare for these situations, you know. It's out of mothballs for our old hay mower, an 18-foot sickle mower, and it's gonna save the day.
So now we know. There are 3 steps to haying: cutting, raking, and baling. You know what, I'd say 4 steps if you add in fixing crap as it breaks, which there seems to be a lot more of than actual haying. But in the end, after Erin hears me complain and whine, I really don't mind too much. It's an important part of ranching, and keeping the cows healthy and fed all winter long is a step that can't be skipped, no matter how tired or cranky it makes you. Thanks for joining us this week. It's been a busy one, and it'll continue to be busy for the next few weeks, as we hope to put up about 150 to 200 tons of hay this summer. It's a drop in the bucket compared to what we need, but every little bit helps. Please subscribe, like, and share. Find us on Facebook for exclusive content that you can't find anywhere else. I'm off to continue the wonderful haying experience, and I hope you have a great week. And thanks for joining us in Our Wyoming Life.